Did you know Pulp actually formed in the 1970s? Did you know that, did you? Pulp, originally called Scroobius Pulp, actually formed in the 1970s. After forming in the 1970s, they tried to make songs.
I've got a very special cottage by the sea, and if you want to go there, you can come with me.
Pulp gained a fan who stalked the band until he was part of it, which was great for the band, but the fanbase had to start over. This means of joining is how you know a band member is gonna last, with the exception of Candida Doyle, who joined by mistake when Pulp needed an oil can but stammered during the request. Relics of this era can barely be found today, but you might eventually find one of the 600 different compilations that a record company makes when a former band goes on to be successful and excellent, if you really want to.
You'd better watch out for the rapist. I am the rapist!
Pulp fact. Jarvis blocked the track Silence from appearing on this compilation because of how awful it sounds. It's not known why the other tracks appear. Pulp's non-member fanbase repopulated back up to one, who immediately stalked the band until he was part of it. All they needed now was a fan. They tried being twee, they tried being horrible, everyone but Jarvis tried being replaced a few times, and Jarvis eventually just patched in. He had a thirst for knowledge, so went to study at some university or something. A traitor to the north, Jarvis was fine to study in London, get a job and have a life with a normal amount of sex, until he was recognised by an old fan who'd become a traitor to the north by moving to London to stalk Pulp until he was part of it. Pulp went all electronic when they noticed that programmed instruments don't need to be tuned. The album that they recorded in 1989, the one with the Guacamole Explosion cover, was ahead of its time, fusing synth pop with indie ballads in a way that foretold the hippest sounds of 1991. It released in 1992.
I am so excited for the 1990s.
After this decade of genre hopscotch, Pulp needed to get serious. Serious like a family photo bonded not by blood, but by their desire to fucking deck you. They'd never found a sound to settle on, at times being one of those bands where you're amazed to see a violinist until you realize that means there's no guitar. But that time was coming. It was the 1990s, Britpop was about to allegedly be a thing, and Pulp, who, did you know, formed in the 1970s, were destined to flourish as they had a Britpop band name. Everything came together for his and hers. This gawky band figured out it was time to be much tighter than jammy art rock, but much looser than strummy whinges. To sing about kitchen sinks and fucking married women under them. For the album tracks to be brooding melodramas, while the singles were soaring, bittersweet nostalgia tales of sordid relationships, teenage fumbles, loss and regret, working class squalor covered in wiggly lead guitar. Man, they were inspired. They seemed really keen to get the guy who produced the Suede album in.
Truth in this sounds like a Suede song.
Pulp fact. Anytime you listen to a Pulp song, you are required to read the lyrics along with it. Then a fan stalked Pulp until he was part of it and brought them a great idea for the next album. Let's do the same thing again, but with proper song structure so people might sing it. Pulp delivered the best singles of the decade, like the one about how some people think they're better than commoners, and the one about being better than commoners. They did cause some controversy.
I fancied you since you were 6. I was 6 then, but it still felt dirty. This is how you take some drugs.
I successfully defended Jarvis Cocker from legal action when Michael Jackson accused him of assaulting children. This guy didn't like proper song structure, he couldn't just shred violin over, so he buggered off. Pulp speed ran their Imperial phase and went straight for the Hedonism Burnout album, and it's one of the best things with a naked teenager on.
Pulp jaded.
That leaves room for one autumnal sputter before it's the time when bands break up so the frontman can do a solo album, like if Scott Walker was really horny.
Don't fuck him, he's a sneeze. You should be fucking me.
One that's like if the Replacements were really, really horny. Then one where instead of being obsessed with sex, he's obsessed with the proliferation of the human species via millennia of sex. Jarvis noticed that these songs were basically Pulp levels, so he may as well make some actual money out of them in the bit where bands reunite in nostalgic glory. With only 4 Pulpists left, graying and not as mobile as they used to be, they had to get a few more musicians on stage and arrange a reunion of everyone from their wedding photo. Pulp fact. That keyboard stand's been slowly falling over since the 90s. It's not quite hit the floor yet, but don't expect any black notes. Hearing crowds chant, "We want more" at the end of a gig, Jarvis scraped together songs he'd written with whichever of their dodgy collaboration lackeys, with the proviso that they can join the band, cause everyone else had. Art imitates life in the inevitable "We're back, bitches" song where they steal a gig from the Stone Roses. Then he goes overboard on fancying women whose names end with A.
A little bit of Deborah in my life, a little bit of Sylvia by my side, a little bit of Tina.
But the truly shocking track is the one where the notorious heterosexual unforeseeably overwrites everything we think we know about him and loudly and explicitly comes out to the world as a wife guy. Being non-binary, Jarvis will have to update all our Pulp songs to remove gender-essential references.
But once it's underway, there's escaping the fact that you're a girl and he's a boy. You might be my friend.
Brothers, sisters, non-binary.
Reunion Pulp are all grand and romantic, their current working class anthems being relatable specifically to those who've moved to Los Angeles, pop up in movies as long as there's not much acting to do, and go to farmers markets. You might see this as a sharp jump if you'd prefer your 60-somethings to be writing about casual sex and what young women shouldn't do. I say keep pulping.
There's a macrocosm in the night where a macroquasar flies, and all the hadrons of the universe are just gagging, to collide.
Pulp fact. Pulp formed in the 1970s. Did you know that?